I had my KTM 790 all loaded and ready to hit the road when I got a call from Graham. He told me he was trailering his bike and there was room for mine. So I took up that spot and we headed for Moorine Rock, where we planned to spend the night and meet up with another 6 riders who are heading out to the Helena and Aurora Ranges. As you can see, the meal sizes are very generous and no one went back for seconds. In fact, a couple of riders took their leftovers for a meal the next day.
Road out this track to Moorine Rock, right up the top of the rock. It's massive rock, but you can ride up it. You guys can fly your drones around and stuff. Then we can go out there to the rabbit-proof fence and then hook up with this Seaforth road here. And instead of doing the bitumen into Coolyanobby, there's a pipeline that follows that road with a track virtually right into Coolyanobby. And then you're on.
What are your expectations for today?
So to stay upright, hopefully. Yep, it'll be good. See how the 501 works.
It's a little after 7 a.m. We're all loaded and ready to roll.
A bit of a sweat up.
Already, what time is it there? About 7 o'clock.
Nearly 7.
Karen's special BRBs. There's a meal in each one of them.
Very nice. Look at that.
Bike rider biscuits.
Infamous.
Famous.
Infamous food.
Not infamous. Who doesn't have any? Graham got.
What you want when you're hungry on the trail, BRBs. Stuff to. Yeah.
Look at this setup. Oh no. Stand down. And now it's time to head out of Moorine Rock, leave our vehicles behind and hit the trails. Some of the sandy sections required some very aggressive riding techniques, especially with a heavily loaded bike, which means that as you hit the soft sand, it's essential to accelerate and keep the motorcycle up on top of the sand. Otherwise, this is what happens: you take a quick trip over the handlebars. Not too much damage done, and we head up Rock Lookout. We managed to find a shady tree, and it's time for a quick stop and chat about where we're heading next. Lee, who organised the ride, and Peter are very familiar with the area. At Lake Deborah we set up for the night, collect a bit of firewood. I'm not sure if you could hear what Graham said then, but I think that we're all pretty happy that we managed to pick up some fly nets at one of the local garages before we headed out here. As the sun set, eventually the flies went to bed too, and we were able to prepare our evening meals. We found that the drone was not only capable of capturing some of the landscape, it was also pretty good at blowing the flies away and stoking up the fire. Next morning the flies were up early, and so were we, packing up and ready to hit the trail again. The aim out here is to travel light, but two things you don't want to be travelling light on is water and fuel, because there's neither available out here. Some of the early morning vistas were a photographer's delight, and some maybe not so. And I certainly couldn't complain about the 3.8 litres per 100 kilometres being suggested by my onboard computer. This is the entrance into Ray's place. Apparently he's a very well known and respected old timer who's done a lot of gold prospecting in this area. The amount of work and amazing ingenuity that's gone into building this property is truly awe-inspiring. How many trips backwards and forwards would it have taken to gather so much building material? When things break out here, you fix it, and fix it, and fix it.
Fancy, but we're cheap. They say it might leak, but it won't fall off. I bet these work real well.
Peter signed the visitor's book.
Hey. Bit of protein, mate. Good week, 10k.
They'll filter out.
I think I'll just take one beer.
Little wrigglers. Yum yum.
I find it absolutely intriguing to walk through an area like this and just look at all the bits and pieces. There's enough old building material here to fix anything. And you need it when the closest shop is 300 kilometres away. This is one of the very well groomed mining haul roads. And I missed the corner by that much. This so-called light bike, once it's loaded with all the camping gear and food and extra fuel, isn't so light. I find that if I don't get back on top of this sand as quick as I can, I find myself off in the bush too.